Hello, this is a guide for the Mercenary L Clear. I'll be going over how the Mercenary works, how to build them, and most importantly how to use them. L Clear is a 5-star warrior with a specific classification of her being a bait support. Yes, she is a bait support. L Clear is a front attacking mercenary with her AoE tiles being a 3x3 box. This might all sound confusing at first, but it'll all make sense when I talk about her skills. One last thing that I should mention is that L Clear is a limited time collaboration mercenary. She is only available whenever the developers drop her banner. And now talk about her skills at max rank. Her first skill is named Hold My Hand. This skill does 3 main things. Firstly, it permanently charms L Clear, causing her to attack her own allies. Secondly, after L Clear uses her turn, she'll allow an ally to go rather than having the turn passed over to the enemy. And lastly, the skill hyper nerfs her crit rate and attack, making her deal no damage at all when attacking her own allies. Her second skill is named Crit Damage Boost Pistol. When L Clear attacks her own allies, she gives them a huge crit damage boost as well as a high amount of defense. Her third skill is named Glory Day. When L Clear attacks a warrior, she gains 1 stack. When she gains 3 stacks, she permanently increases the HP of every ally on the team until the battle ends. She can gain multiple stacks in one attack. This means if that she hits 3 warriors at once, she immediately grants every ally the permanent HP increase. If she hits 6 warriors at once, she grants the permanent HP increase twice. L Clear can keep granting her permanent HP increase until the battle ends, or until she dies. Her fourth skill is named Eternal Heart. This skill causes L Clear to ignore taunts just so that her own taunt tanks don't draw her aggro. Additionally, when L Clear dies, she grants every ally debuff immunity for a short duration. So to sum it up, L Clear charms herself so that she can smack her own allies to give them buffs. That's why I classify L Clear as a bait support, because she aids her own allies despite being a warrior. For her skill level, I'll quickly run down the most important ones. Her plus 12 is quite strong as it increases the duration of her debuff immunity bestowed to the entire team from 4 turns to 8 turns. And lastly, her plus 15 is decent as it maxes out her HP increasing skill, causing it to be a bit more helpful in some PvE content. In my opinion, I would recommend you to get L Clear's skill level to at least plus 12 as the extended duration of her debuff immunity is quite huge. Personally, her plus 15 isn't too necessary, so you don't have to get it if you don't want to. Maxing out L Clear to plus 15 really only makes her a bit better in PvE content. For runes, the optimal setup would be to run 2 flat attack runes, both with a subset of agility. Additionally, both runes should be at minimum 6-star runes with epic plus rarity, as well as their stats being equal to or higher than the ones presented on screen. For a mythic rune, the optimal setup would be to run 2 agility main stats with an agility subset, though don't worry if you don't have the subset, it's not make or break. For Insignia of Creed, I highly recommend you not to get them as L Clear does not benefit from overdosing on agility, since the game only considers agility scaling attacks and buffs up to a maximum of 100% agility. For soul gear, I would recommend leveling them all up to be level 10 just for that one additional skill level. Additionally, I also recommend refining her amulet stats to be double agility. On that note, if you want L Clear's agility to be greater than or equal to 100%, you can do one or more of the following. Ability to refine her regular runes to agility, level 25 her amulet, or upgrade her mythic rune. Pick the choice that is most cost effective for you, but honestly, getting less than 100% agility on L Clear is really not the end of the world. For rank boosting L Clear, don't do it. Save your rank boosters for another mercenary. L Clear's main purpose on a team is to intentionally kill off Helga to instantly pop her buffs and debuffs. She can also be a very delicious bait for Ulfin and the Gungnir spell card to target. Overall, L Clear is usually ran in Guild War due to her utilities, with a few teams sometimes running her in the World Arena. Now for pros and cons. For pros, she is the most reliable and to my knowledge the only mercenary that can easily sacrifice Helga. This is a great combo to abuse when going first because applying a buff prohibition to the entire enemy team prevents them from receiving their critical buffs, which can snowball to an early win if the enemy doesn't have a response. Another pro of L Clear is that she is a good bait for the enemy Ulfin to target. You just have to place her in the frontmost position. With her low base attack, it's certain that she will be targeted first. Furthermore, you can also counter the enemy Gungnir spell card. You just have to set her to go first in your team, which will make her the target of the enemy Gungnir. However, with her turn pass, she can still allow your entire team to go like nothing happened. A more niche pro is that L Clear is immune to every single possible charm. This includes Salvi's charm, Claudia's charm, and even the Charming Siren's spell card since she already automatically charms herself. L Clear also provides a pretty strong crit damage buff and an HP increase, though in my opinion this is more helpful in PvE content since in PvP content, she is more often than not used as a Helga sacrificer or as a bait. Additionally, L Clear grants all allies debuff immunity when she dies, which is great at countering Velfin's Horror CC and Indra's Burn CC. And lastly, if you also include the L Clear Helga combo, once Helga is sacrificed she cleanses all allies from debuffs. This is great for removing Dalvi's and Claudia's charms off of CC vulnerable allies. However, some cons are that her defense boost is easily outclassed. A well-built Ida with her Blessed Bestow buff will bestow a 160% Bless buff, which will not only increase defense but also increase other stats such as attack, crit rate, crit damage, support, and agility. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, her crit damage and HP boost is really only helpful in PvE content. And for her last con, L Clear is incredibly useless if she's not either sacrificing a Helga, eating up a Gungnir, or being bait for Ulfin. Don't get me wrong, these 3 niches are actually quite strong. It's just that outside of those niches, L Clear is terrible and won't provide anything else for the team. For some synergies, L Clear's best synergy is with Helga. As stated previously, she can intentionally sacrifice Helga to pop her buffs and debuffs instantly. Additionally, the L clear Helga combo works quite well with an Indra on the team to punish the enemy using a Refi on the team to remove Helga's buff prohibition, since if Refi duration cuts buff prohibition, Indra's burn will trigger, which is a very annoying CC to deal with. Ida with a Blessed Basol buff can also work, as L clear can increase her HP, making her Blessed buff even stronger, though I should note that this really is only good in PvE content. For some good matchups, again, as stated previously, L clear can be a good fodder for the Gungnir spell card and Ulfin to target, since when she dies, she provides the whole team with a debuff immunity, and if you include the L clear Helga combo, her good matches will also include her countering Mary White, Ride, Rogris, Indra, Mary, Walia, Venus, and the Michaela Ida Noble Sacrifice combo. So pretty much the L clear Helga combo will counter several supporters due to Helga's buff prohibition preventing those supporters from applying their buffs. Now to her counters. Mercenaries that counter L clear include Refi because she can duration cut the buff prohibition that Helga applies, essentially nullifying the L clear Helga combo. And lastly, L clear is incredibly squishy, so any Slayer that attacks her will kill her instantly. In my opinion, L clear shines the most in Guild War defense formations. This is because in Guild War, the defender goes first, so this allows L clear to sacrifice Helga at the very start of the fight, causing the attacker's whole team to be inflicted with a buff prohibition debuff, forcing them to respond with a Refi or through inefficient spell card usage. I would give her an A rank in Guild War defense. However, L clear's utility falls off quite hard if she's attacking in Guild War. This is because when going second in Guild War, the opponent has already obtained all their buffs, which makes applying buff prohibition quite useless. Therefore, this causes L clear's usage in Guild War attacks to be relegated to just being Gungnir or Ulfin bait. I would give her a D rank in Guild War attack. For the regular arena and world arena, L clear performs terribly since she doesn't provide enough supportive utility to be worth running. Honestly, if you're running L clear, you're mainly using her for the L clear Helga combo. In the world arena, this combo is quite viable as the buff prohibition can prevent Walia, Indra, and Mary White from applying their critical support buffs. She gets a respectable B rank in the world arena. Though in the regular arena, it's a slightly different story. Due to how powerful Exalted and Mythic Mercenaries are, they can still make a big impact even with a buff prohibition debuff. They might die doing so, but in arena it doesn't matter too much. Remember, the goal in arena is to be the last one standing, not to get a perfect win like in Guild War. Therefore, she gets a C rank in the regular arena. And finally, the most important question of all, should you build L clear? My answer is mostly yes. L clear itself is quite good in PvE content due to her crit damage, HP boost, and debuff immunity Basol. However, to use her in PvP content, it's pretty much a requirement that you have a plus 15 Helga, else the only use you'll get out of her is her being a Gungnir or Ulfin bait. After saying that, I wouldn't recommend most people to build L clear due to her being quite niche and reliant on Helga. But since L clear is a limited time mercenary, this is my recommendation for you to go for. If you don't mind spending the resources to build both L clear and Helga, then I would recommend you to get L clear. But if you're a new player without a proper arena team, then I wouldn't recommend you to get an L clear. Don't worry, she'll most likely return by the time you get a proper arena team. And that's all. Make sure you check the comments if I made any changes to this guide, but other than that, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for watching.